I've been, on one hand, been fighting COVID authoritarianism. But if you notice, what I've mostly been fighting isn't really COVID authoritarianism. It is the psychosocial forces that happen to be there during COVID authoritarianism. But those same kinds of psychosocial forces happen in all kinds of contexts. They happen everywhere, and especially dangerously in the great democides and genocides. And of course, there's many less dangerous things like that than that. COVID as being one case, which was less dangerous, the authoritarianism that happened, and the totalitarianism that happened, which was very dangerous, but still not at those levels. And climate change, right? Now, the nice thing about climate change is that, it's been around, my whole lifetime. Every day, every week, there's news articles exaggerating this, exaggerating that. It was so obviously a collective hysteria all these years. And I think, it was a slow burn one, as opposed to the sort of COVID overnight, the whole world beating as one and saying, here's these new righteous cult rules that everybody has to follow. But I feel as if COVID and everything that people saw with COVID should now make it clear that when they see the same exact kinds of behaviors, the same kinds of justifications, and calling people deniers, as they always had, calling people deniers for not believing that the heat wave in Europe right now is a sign, or the fires over there are a sign of global warming, that you can see that this is not right. This is just the next thing. This is just another next thing. Then the crowds are rushing over there to the next thing, and then they rush back to this other next thing. What I have been fighting for the last 3 years, and what Loofwire tries to do, loofwire.com, the sort of magazine based on being aloof of exactly these sorts of mob trends, and what freex.group and this whole series is about, is trying to understand why it is that humans end up in mobs rushing towards the next thing, right? It's not about fighting the next thing. It's about fighting the human psychosocial tendency to keep driving crowds towards the next thing. The fight is with our propensity to keep rushing towards next things, right? So it's very frustrating. Once you see the world this way, as all these rushings toward the next thing and rushing back towards the next thing, you're not really worried about the next things so much as you are about this propensity that people have, that human groups have. That's the point.